Alright, Chapter 2, Navigating the Solidworks Interface. SolidWorks interfaces a wide range of tools. Find more than one way to do almost everything. No single best way to use the interface. This book generally shows the most standardized and quickest methods. In this chapter, I'll start the display in the entire default interface, but the rest of the book I will show you reduced interface, mainly with save space, and keep the focus on the graphic window. After you have mastered the various interface elements, customize your SolidWorks installation work with the software will become much more efficient and satisfying. In this chapter, you will be learning to recognize elements of SolidWorks interface, find out what you need in the interface, customize the interface to work for you. Identifying elements of identifying elements of SolidWorks interface, the major elements of SolidWorks interface with the graphic window where all the geometry is shown. For the featured manager, which is a list of all the features in this part of the property manager, where most of the data input happens to the command manager, and the toolbars where you access most of the commands in the software. Each interface element is defined in Figure 2.1, explained with the detail in this chapter, which might be the benchmark with the next page of the refer to Figure 2.1 often because much of the interface discussion refers to elements illustrated in the figure. You'll never see the interface elements shown in Figure 2.1 on the screen at the same time. The image have been composited for illustration purposes to show the default interface with a couple of exemptions. Firstly, I pinned the tile bar in the menu place. Second, I detached the menu bar. Using the command manager and toolbars in some respect, command manager resembles a Microsoft ribbon interface, but is not strict implementation because SolidWorks wanted to add a customizable. In this section, I show you how to make the command manager work for you and how to use regular and fly-out toolbars to replace its effectiveness. Alright, here is the elements of SolidWorks starting at the top right corner, top left corner, feature property manager configuration, display or command manager. Feature menu bar, splitter tile, title bar, display panel, tile, menu bar, selection breadcrumbs, context bar, RMB menu, title bar, right mouse button left, right mouse button menu, title bar, toolbar, heads up view toolbar, SolidWorks login, application windows control, task plane confirmation, in the corner gesture donut, Window Explorer tags, custom unit, documentation order, generic, detached property manager, view indicator, coordinator, triad, taskbar, mode tab bars, rollback, feature manager, fillet, command manager, and command manager tabs. Alright, so basically, this is the interface of all your menu bars. Or exploring the command manager. The command manager is the area of the interface that can give you the flip between steps to relieve the command. The main purpose of the command manager to give you an easy access to commands without cluttering the entire screen with the toolbars. The command manager accomplished with providing small tabs under the left end of the toolbar area to enable you to switch collection tools that appear Figure 2.2 show with the command manager customized mode, showing all the tabs available for the default tab. To get with the command manager customized mode, right click on one of the command manager tabs and select the custom command manager for the access of the pull down menu with the default setup. Play with the cursor over the SolidWorks logo with the small fly out triangle with the right over the upper hand or over the upper left hand corner of the window with the show with the fly out pull down menus pin in place to keep the menu in the position. Click the push pin at right end of the fly out of the menu bar. Show the customize with the command manager. Customize with the command manager. The best way for the most efficient SolidWorks interface is to customize the last button at the bottom of the command manager for the right. If you want to add another tab, you would right click on the tab and select the tab you want to add. You can also select to add a blank tab, rename the populate it with individual buttons. Figure 2.3 show the detail with the add tab menu button option. The option after you right click on the rightmost tab. Figure 2.3 shows adding and removing tabs from the command manager. So you've clicked on a new tab, you've added a new tab. It shows the empty the tabs to the left to add these tabs. To add individual buttons, command manager, follow these steps. Choose the tools, customize the menu bar, customize dialog box, open button you want to add. Click the command tab, customizing dialog box, then switch command manager for the tab you want to add the button. Drag the button over the customizing dialog box for the command manager. You can remove the buttons of the command manager by dragging them into the blank graphics and Windows area with docking the command manager. For the SolidWorks, you can undock the command manager, leave it undocked. Pull in the second monitor of the dock and vertically into the left or the right. To undock it, click and drag with any of the tab of the command manager. To redock with the undock of the command manager. Double click over the tile area. Change the document location, drag in one over the docking station around the screen. Figure 2-4 show the command manager undocked. You can also double click over the command manager tile in order to dock back into the last parking position. Figure 2-4 show the undocked command manager with text labels. Alright, using auto collapse. Small box for the area over the upper right corner of the undock command manager for the undock property manager for the auto collapse option. When the option is active, the property manager command with it collapses automatically when the mouse goes over. This can be very handy because it saves a lot of space on the screen, but at the same time it requires additional mouse movement to open it with a common trade-off of the interface. You can trade the screens between space for the additional mouse movement or clicks. Mixing with the command manager with the toolbars, putting the toolbar in line with the command manager, dragging with the toolbar close to the right end of the command manager with the space for the row of the column opens up the mount with the space for the opens up with the depends of the command manager tab with the longest set of icons, or even if the tab is not shown, basing tabs on the document type. Solidworks renumers which tabs show the per document type of the base of the means. When you are working on the part of the document, you will have one set of tabs. When you switch to assembly document, you have a different set of tabs. The same goes for the drawings. Notice that figure 2-3 with the right mouse button, the copy of the tab of the assemblies option, and the copy of the tabs, the drawing options appear. These options make it easy for the customization apply for all the documents. Shaping the appearance of the command manager, you can turn off the text in two ways. The easiest way to do with the right click of the command manager, deselect with the use of large buttons with the text option and show figure 2-5. 2-5, you can change the command manager by using a large button with text or customize. I will use the interface for the hidden text with the rest of the book, primarily to save the space on the printed page. If the remember the need help with the name, the icon, you can hover over the cursor over the icon, so see a tool tip, and it tells you what it is. You can scroll through the tab of the command manager, pressing control page up and down. These key combinations can be controlled by the tool customized keyboard. The most streamlined, space efficient is a way to set up the command manager and remove the text. Notice with the command manager without text up to the same point with the height of the normal toolbar added the room of the tabs of the option. The text is useful for the new users and feature you do not commonly use. The final setting of the command manager prior to the size of the icon, you have the control over the size of the icon images in the command manager. You can find the setting of the options flyout title bar toolbar shown in table 2.6. Difference between large and small icons shown in the lowest part of the figure button size. Setting apply with the toolbar icons except for the menu with the right mouse button menu with the contact with the bar icons. These settings may not take a full effect until you restart Solidworks. Large icons can be useful on the display with a high resolution, particularly with the laptop on the screen itself. It may be small, but the resolution is very high. All screenshots of the book are taken with the large icon and open options turn on the improved visibility. Recognizing limitations of the command manager for the undock with the control manager, you cannot reorientate the tab horizontally. This remains vertical. In addition, you cannot place multiple rows of the toolbars in the same row. Add the command uses a large button with the text. You cannot dock the command manager at the bottom of the Solidworks window. Another minor limitation is that Solidworks allows you to place the toolbars right into the command manager above the command manager. If the command manager is docked at the top, it does not allow you to place them on the left of the command manager below it. Using toolbars, interface set off frequently with the compromise of the balance and conflicting screens from the case of the command manager with the compromise between the space screen, space, the mouse travel, and clicks. You may find with yourself clicking frequently back and forth between the sketch and feature for the tab for the reason for the you may find with the valuable with the sketch toolbar with the vertically on the right side of the graphic window and remove it from the command manager that enables you to sketch for the feature for the toolbars at the same time greatly reduce the clicking back and forth for command manager tabs. Solidworks interface performs best with some of the customization. Now, two people set up with exactly the same way, but everyone needs some adjustable because he or she might be working on the specialized functionality, such as mold surfacing, might work on the limited functionality, such as predominantly revolved features. Of course, the customization can accommodate personal preference. For example, if one user performs the hotkeys, another uses the menu gestures and the S key. To enable to disable the toolbar, you with the right click on the toolbar, choose the toolbar you are interested in enabling from the list of the toolbars in SolidWorks. Another way to do this is customizing dialog box, choosing tools customizing option. You have the bottom of the right mouse button toolbar list. Yet another way to choose view toolbars, exploring Heads-up toolbar view of the toolbars. Heads-up view toolbar appears in the middle of the top edge of the graphic window. Figure 2 shows the default arrangement. The heads-up view toolbar is shown in relation with the result of the interface in Table 2.1. Show 2.7 show the heads-up views of the toolbar. Or you can customize heads-up view toolbar with the toolbar dialog. Customize toolbar. Customization. Move the heads-up the view of the toolbar on and off by adding and removing the button to the multiple documents window with the multiple viewports shown with the heads-up of the view of the toolbar shown with the active window or viewport. Toolbar often overlap the interface with the elements of the active window is small. Exploring title bar, the toolbar menu with the title bar toolbar is found just on the right of the Solidoworks logo on the title bar with the top left corner of the Solidoworks by default contain the most of the elements of the chain of the toolbar available even if the no documents are open in the most freely fly out toolbar icon. So again, follow the terrain with the save the space with expensive with the extra click with the toolbar can be customized the same way with the other toolbar in the customized dialog box with the command table bar with the toolbars cannot be turned off, but you can remove them all the icons from them. However, no, you can run Solidworks interface just from the command manager without any additional toolbars you'd use. So the same as just the title bar toolbar, optimizing all fly-out toolbars. Main advantage of the title bar toolbar is visible with no documents open with the utilized with otherwise wasted space in the title bar. We might set up the interface within 12-inch normal aspect of the display with the tab laptop very differently from a desktop unit of 24-inch widescreen. There's also a title bar with a hidden by default Solidoworks logo in the upper left-hand Solidoworks window, small triangle next to the logo, serve as the flyout to expand main Solidoworks menus. You can pin the menus in place by even the push pin. Notice that on the low resolution non-maximized SolidWorks window that you can run the same with the space problem with the menu bar with the prime pin open. You need to examine the customization to the SolidWorks interface with display sizes in the mind. You might consider having differences in setting with the laptop docking station or with a large monitor using a laptop with a small monitor using a computer with a low resolution digital projection. Projector setting exists helps you control the display with the situation. Figure 2A shows the view of the workspace menu with the view of the observation default one-screen dual monitor. Dual monitors can put the same option, some of the option elements of the interface. The second monitor to save the graphical space. You will also see touch mode, the option with the view of the menu, which will help you set up the display with the touchscreen with the tablet. Figure 2A shows the workspace with the touch mode of the interface setting. So now we went to view and workspace, and you can change your screen settings. Look at the flyout toolbar. Solidworks, I save the space for the putting and several related icon flyout toolbar. For example, the rectangle of the toolbar with several different ways to make it the rectangle. They are all rectangular flyouts. To the available flyouts show the tools, customized command and flyouts. Flyouts primarily save the toolbar space with the several tools closely related. Solidworks have the tab with the flyouts with the two figuration flyouts. Also maintain same image with the front with the bottom image. Button image such as the smart dimension flyout with the flyout. You with the last used button image such as the rectangular flyout. Exploring context toolbars. Context toolbars are toolbars that appear with a graphic window with a feature manager with the right click on them or left click something. The right click on the context toolbar appear with the top of the right menu mouse button. Menu show the function of SolidWorks deemed the most commonly used the function advantage of the block tool because of the more commonly used should be familiar with the icons, though but you do not support with the text file. Two less commonly used the right mouse button menu. The figure 2.9 show the right mouse button menu with the context bar. Figure 2.9 show the right click menu of the context bar. So the context toolbar right mouse menu button. When you left click on the icon of the tool context bar with appear with the right mouse button menu, if it does not appear but it does not recognize the icon with the context toolbar, you can refer to the tool tip with the context toolbar, editable in two ways. With the first, you can turn off and restore right mouse button menu to complete configuration. Turn off the context toolbar, click on the context toolbar, and choose the tools customized with the option on the right side of the menu toolbar tab. Refer to the upper right corner of the figure 210 with the second of the add with remove the icon specifically contact with the toolbar, right clicking on the toolbar itself and selecting to customize. Purpose of the context toolbar is to save space for condensing some of the commands into the toolbar and without text instead of the menu for the icon text. Left click and right click context toolbar are the same, but they work differently. Left click context toolbar fades as you move cursor away, becomes into the darker to move the cursor toward it as it fades completely. You can get it back and reselecting it on the item. Exploring the shortcut toolbar, or S. The shortcut toolbar, also known as the S toolbar, has the default action with pressing the S key. You can customize the toolbar with the different content of the sketch and part of the assembly of the drawing. With the customize the S toolbar, right click it when it's active, and when it's active, then click with the customize with the right mouse button. You've the claim to customize the S toolbar to the extent that they may be able to remove the command manager. All the other toolbars interface with the shortcut toolbar. We use the conjunction while customize context toolbar. This is probably true. Use a limited number of sketches for the sketch relation feature type. If you make the extensive use of the flyout on the S toolbar. However, you will work with a wide range of tools, say with a surfacing sheet metal with the plastic parts. You may need additional toolable spacing, and it's completely believable to have access to most of the software function of the S toolbar with either of the menu toolbar with the command manager. The command manager by far gives you most flexibility, but also require the most space. The S key shortcut may conflict with another keyboard customization, changing the S toolbar key another character, or to reassign it file with the directions, creating the maintaining hotkeys. Later in this chapter section, we will cover customization reference as a shortcut button in the keyboard list. Tool customized keyboard. Using tooltips. The tooltips are of the two varieties, large and small. Large and tooltips show the name of the tools and they're able to shortcut keys along with a brief description of what they do. Small tooltips show only the tool names and shortcut key with the chain with the tool display. With the large and small, with the select with the tool with the display with the altogether. Choose tools customized with these options. Sizing the tooltips showing with the tooltips appear with the upright corner. In addition to the tooltip, balloon tips also will appear with the taskbar at the bottom of the screen with the cursor over the icon. Figure 210 provided the option with the tooltip. See the comparison of the large and medium icons. Figure 210 shows the Solidworks use large tooltips for the default. So now we're in the customization menu, customize dialog box toolbars, and you can customize them there. The tooltips and the options. The customized tool the customized option tool customized is inactive unless SolidWorks document is open to access with the custom dialog box. First, open the SolidWorks assembly drawing or part assembly drawing. Then choose tool customized from the menu. The customized menu option found in all SolidWorks menu. The customized menu option is discussed later in this chapter. In addition to tooltip, the area with the customized dialog box allows also control of the icon side with the setting of the show with the hide context toolbar. Managing toolbars if you still need to work with the standard toolbars, it's easy to move the select and deselect with the add icon with the toolbar. It's important to remember the different document types rather than retain the different toolbar settings. For example, the toolbars you set when the part opening are different from the toolbars you see with the drawing. For the reason, when you change from the part document to the drawing document, you may see your dialog just above Sure, changing toolbars increase or decrease the amount of space that is required. Best practice is to set up the toolbars each document type so that they make the similar amounts of space. For example, the two rows at the top of the one row column on the right. This way, the changing between the document type of the graphics does not see the reside. The moving toolbar. To move the toolbar, you click on the cursor of the dotted bar over the leftmost top edge of the toolbar. Figure 211 show the dotted bar over the top edge of the toolbar with the curve of the chain with the four-way arrow with the chain with the drag with the toolbar where you want it. Toolbars dock either vertically or horizontally. You can reset the undock of the toolbars that have the rows or columns as the arrangement. Typically, use the selection filter toolbar, which is often left to the undock to compress into the block of 3 or 4 columns wide. Figure 211 show the dotted bars unable to move the top. So at the top, if you want to move the top toolbar. Alright, using flyout toolbars. You can use any of the flyout toolbar. Figure 212 with the show with the list of all the flyout toolbars. Same with the list of all the toolbar flyout. Select with the flyout the toolbar. Lift the drag of the existing toolbar. Display over the arrow to the right with clicking the arrow cause with the allow with the tools with the cross scroll out temporarily until you click on the toolbar icon or anything else. Figure 212 show with the flyout toolbar's common commands tab of the customizing dialog box. You can there isolate, so if you went to customize in the commands tabs, and now you can select your customized dialog flyout toolbar. To add the flyout toolbar, temporarily show with the regular toolbar over the corresponding with the flyout toolbar. Add icon with the regular toolbar. Where the finish adding with the removing the icon, turn off with the regular toolbar. The chain with the apply with the flyout. For some of the flyout toolbar is not available. The rectangular flyout, you can use the technique with the toolbar for that. Use the flyout with the reference geometry toolbar. Tip: if you want to create a separate toolbar, you command over the existing one of your own purpose. For example, because I do not use the tools toolbar, I removed all the regular icons from it and replaced them relevant to the fly toolbar. But I do not use the extensively enable that you may consolidate space. Not you have the unused icons on my toolbar. Alternatively, creating a custom command manager tab, putting on what you like and much easier. Alright, working in various screen configuration. Full screen mode enables you to toggle to quickly display with only the graphic window of the task pane, appear with the feature manager for the menu, with the toolbar, staff of the bar are all hidden. Alternately, you can hide just the feature menu on the toolbar. In full screen mode, you can still access the menu with clicking on the cursor along with the tab of the top of the border of the menu. F8 toggles the display pane. F9 toggle the feature manager. F10 toggles the toolbar, and F11 toggle the full screen mode. Under View and Workspace, you find the other setups of where, including widescreen dual monitors, widescreen puts for the command manager to the left of the feature menu for the dual monitor spot, the command manager and property manager on the second shared screen. Controlling menu. Everyone of his or her own style will work. For example, some of the people like to use the menus, others do not. Some like to use the hotkeys, others like to use the mouse. Most of the avoid menu because they seem like the old way of working. However, some of the commands of the modifying section view are available only through the drop-down menus. All Solidworks users who ride the range of the feature will end up using the menus most often than users the more limited of the set tool. The most frequently used menu of the items view, the view, insert, and tool menus. All the menus shown in the section possible option for the customizing menu rarely done. Although impossible to customize menu, activate menu with the select custom menu from the bottom of the menu shown in Figure 213. So in Figure 213, you're allowed to customize your menu. You can use the view menu, prominently turning visibility on and off the editing type, such for the plain sketch for the temporary accesses. You can also do this for the hotkey or via heads-up view toolbar, the insert menu, the most likely to create the feature tab, the types of the which for the do have with the toolbar icon on the screen. For example, to move the tool base of the tool, mold toolbars, mold tools toolbar. You can also use the move face tool. On the direct editing toolbar with the move face as many with the side with the mold design, you can combine with the move face toolbar, choosing insert and face. Customize menu with adding or omitting the items by a customizing option at the bottom of any of the menu, including the shortcut of the right menu button, right mouse button menus. You can remove the items from any of the menu with clearing the checkbox with the next to the school. You do not use bring with the back to remove the items. You can go back with the customizing menu, choose to with the customized option. Click with the reset with the default button for the menu's code shortcut customization. While omitting items that may sound like benefit, the menu like much of the benefits, some of the menus are so long that they may not fit on the monitor, even large monitor. They may include a tool that you never use. Sometimes trimming down of the menu may take with the interface better. It is a good choice for the particular situation. You may also find the administrator the reason to remove certain commands from the available list to prevent users from adding certain features to the tree. Be careful. No, be careful not to confuse the customized menu selection with customized menu selection on the tool menu. Figure 213 show the tools menu being customized. In addition, I do not recommend removing items from the menus at some point, as someone may need one of the items and no one will remember what it was or how to get it back. Interpreting the word shortcut in Solidworks. Between the Solidworks and Microsoft interface, the word shortcut is used in several overlapping and confusing ways. The following list describes the Solidworks Microsoft use that might encounter the acting and the word shortcut formal name, interfacing functionality have maybe to understand. A Windows shortcut is linked in another way to a file or folder. Most users prefer to link as a shortcut or desktop shortcut. Shortcuts identified in Solidworks help to understand shortcut keys. These are accelerator keys, keyboards, shortcuts. You refer to the accelerator keys, alt keys, and the keyboard shortcuts as hotkeys. Solidworks shortcut menus commonly called right mouse button menus. They have the attached toolbars called with the contact with the right click and the left click options. They're commonly known as the right menu bar and left menu mouse bar. Shortcut tabs found with the shortcut entry. Solidworks help presumably refer to the derived works express functionality, although they were not direct mention of the help entry with the shortcut bars are commonly known as the S key toolbar. If you use alternative terminology offered here, it will be clear to all the users where you're all talking about. Changing cursors. Solidworks cursors are context sensitive. They change with the appearance of the function depending on the situation. Sketching curve the display with a pencil, typical of the sketch of the entity with which you're presently sketching. Sketch cursors also for some of the dimensional information for the entity that you're sketching, such for the length of the radius, such for the cursor feedback, what's necessary for the fast, accurate sketching. Learn more about sketching cursor feedback. Chapter 3 with the working with sketching of the reference geometry. Select cursor change depending on the item in which the position cursor. Some of the also remind the selection filters are interactive. Figure 214 shows the various cursors of other significance. Figure 214 shows various Solidworks cursors. Working with models, feature models, and property manager window. The feature manager, property manager window is also over the wood interface will spend with much more time to manipulate with the content of the windows in various ways. Using feature manager, with the feature manager window with the panel with the left side of the screen, show the feature with the describing the height of the part with the Solidworks, you can spend with a fair amount of the time. Use the feature menu with the edit, with the inspect with the module. You can use the tree also known with the informally to see the items in order which they create with the search for the specific item you might put for the part of the feature for the folders. For organization, you display with the pane, you can turn the visibility on or off for the bodies with the reference for the geometry, other item, you can use the display name with the description of the data of the figure 215, name of the various parts of the feature manager information management interface. So figure 215 shows the parts of the feature manager, starting at the feature manager on the top bar would be feature manager, property manager, configuration manager, dimension expert manager, display manager, and then display pane splitter, hide show, and display mode, transparency, and appearance. On the left, the feature menu split bar, the feature menu filter, metadata folders, reference geometry, reference features, and freeze bar, rollback bar, and then I missed the feature folder at the bottom and the feature manager collapse tab. Figure 216 again shows the feature menu with a simple mode with the time and use this option for the dynamic reference visualization. Parent feature for the typically above the select with the feature for the indicate with the blue dynamic reference visualization area. Child feature for the typically below the select with the feature for the indicate with the purple dynamic reference visualization arrow. Child feature sometimes can be below with the selected feature for the Solidworks method, the putting sketches below the feature using the shortcut Control T, which will with the feature menu the more liberal representation of the feature order, whereas child features come after the parents. You will learn more about this in Chapter 12, editing and evaluating troubleshooting. Figure 216 shows the dynamic referencing visualization. Dynamic referencing visualization enables you to instantly understand the parent and child relation between the variable feature within the select heading of the enable and disable this dynamic reference visualization and the view user interface shown in the image right of the page 216. A split bar with the top menu feature manager enables you to split with the feature manager of the window with the two windows enables to display with the feature manager another window of the property manager and refer to figure 217 with the tab of the right with the feature manager or the F9 key click left the feature manager save space. Looking at the display plane, you can open the display plane file with the feature menu with the area with the top right corner. Feature menu with the display with the plane helps you with the visual with the appearance with the color with the display type itself, the hidden body with the apply with the part with the document additional function with the assembly with the documentation display with the pay. Helpful when you're looking at the colors applied with the model with the same of the some of the level the other part level. Appearance is covered in more detail. Chapter 5 using visualization techniques. Looking at the rollback or freeze bars, rollback bar with the feature manager enables you to see the part of the various states of the history. Features can be added while rollback bar is at any location. The model also can be saved while rollback. And the part with the top of the feature manager is called the freeze bar with the figure 215. If it looks the feature above the being rebuilt and edited. To enable it, go to the Tools option General. You can position it just like a rollback bar. Figure 217 shows a split feature manager for the property manager bottom. So now you've gone to the property manager button and it shows the freeze plane button. Looking at feature manager filter, one of the most elements of the feature manager filter reside at the top of the feature for the type of the text of the filter with the Solidworks search of the feature for the name, the description, the comment tags for the dimension, and the name of the text matching with the string with the show for the only the matching feature within the window. These also work with the assemblies where you can filter the other parts from the document property of the filter. Very useful for the quickly finding the part of the feature of the maze, anything else that shows up with the part of the assembly in the feature manager. Looking in folders. Feature manager allows you a couple of different type of the folders. One type enables you with a group of the feature together with especially useful when long feature trees and you want to put all the fellas together in one folder. The useful assemblies you want to group with certain types of the parts together as such as fasteners. And the type of the folder with the special views of the folder, top of the feature menus for the things such as the solid bodies, surface body sensor for the feature, you can add feature for the feature for the folder, the right click for the feature for the adding the add to favorites. The special use of folders are not all turned on by default. Turn them on or off, allowing them to be turned on only in the content with the Tools option feature manager, where you will find the list of the three items, including the special use of folders. Figure 218 show the feature manager with several kinds of folders in use, and show we've now opened the feature manager folder, various types, and folders. Using Property Manager. Property Manager, one of the most set of the feature parameters where you edit with the property with the select of the items, the sketch elements manually with a switch to the Property Manager. You have the tab at the top of the display pane, allowing it to pop out automatically when you input your need. One of the most benefits of putting all the data entry for the Property Manager save lots of space for the tenant on the screen. On the other hand, it will often need you to be make a selection from the feature manager same time when the Property Manager pulls up to take it into place. You can disable automatic pop-up behavior, then choosing tools, options, system, options, general, selecting auto show, Property Manager setting. My favorite option of the dealing with the Property Manager is to detach it from the Feature Manager, and so I can use the two sides instead of one on the other, and detach Property Manager, drag the icon with the tabs out with the graphic area with the relief. You can see with the detached Property Manager with the 2-1. With the appropriate Property Manager detached, you can move it in the second monitor, float it within the second of the Solidworks, and then the dock it or reattach it to make it back with the place of the Feature Manager, drag it on top of the Feature Manager. Use the docking station symbols on the screen allows you to snap it into place and release it. You can use the splitting bar shown with the figure 2-1 over the upper left-hand corner to put Feature Manager on the top of the Property Manager beneath. You can also use the flyout Feature Manager for the creating the editing the feature with the way you can access flyout Feature Manager with the double click with the name of the feature for the top of the Property Manager, flyout with the Feature Manager for the display with just to the right of the regular Feature Manager with this main graphic window and transparent enables you to see the model through it in various ways with the combined with the Feature Manager and Property Manager as shown figure 219. Introducing the Display Manager. The Display Manager helps you understand the various display-related items to your part with the assembly, include with the light scene with the background, the appearance of the color fixture, and texture for the decal. Figure 220 show the Display Manager for the appearance and activity. Chapter 5 discuss the Display Manager in the more depth, getting around the task pane. With the default with the task pane, step with the right with the Solidworks screen will allow, though you can undock it entirely. If you want to keep it open, click the push button in the upper right corner of the plane with the task pane shown with the figure 221. If you cannot see with the task pane, it may be turned off. If you can turn it on, other interface elements on and off. You have the view menu with the figure 216 with the task pane with the home symbol bands. Home tab of the tab enables you the access to the welcome screen with the trouble of installing Solidworks tools, which can also access subscriptions from here. The design library with this includes the local stored library, the toolbox, and 3D content central. Also with the contain with the Solidworks content, which can be downloaded directly in the task pane file explorer. You can enables you to visualize selected views to drag them into the File Explorer. You can use the Window Explorer interface to browse files. View palette. The palette enables you to visualize selected views and drag them into the drawing sheets. Appearances, screens, and decal of the panel enables you to select the appearance of the scene of the Solidworks document. The Solidworks have moved the decal of Solidworks stand level with the software instead of being part of the rendering surfaces. Software. Custom property tag with the planes have been able to create with a custom interface that goes inside with the task pane tab, which will help you enter for the custom property data with a quickly and easily accurate. The Solidworks form of the task shown with the last command with the Solidworks form with the clicking on the link of the panel launch of the web browser window for more convenient access. The recovered documents after crash auto recovered documents are listed in special purpose for the task pane tab. Figure 219 is with a detached property manager, feature manager, and flyout manager. So you have here's your property manager and your flyout feature manager. Figure 220 so the Display Manager helps you with the sort with everything that affects the model of looks. The task pane on the home tab. Getting familiar with the taskbar. The taskbar non-intrusively can communicate with the Solidworks information back to the user that contains the interactive option is located at the bottom of the screen. You can enable it for the view menu. Figure 222 show with the taskbar and action bar shown with the sketch information. Status bar can be displayed with the following information indicator icons. Progress part with the assembly drawings, loaded change, community tools, tip, feedback, commands, measure results, sketch stats for the active sketch, in context editing, suspending, automatic rebuilds, quick tip toggles, tags data entry window toggle to the sheet scale of the drawing, the cursor position drawing and sketches. Whether you're editing sheet format or view of the drawing windows, expand Solidworks does not maximize. Assigning tags work like documented keywords. The tags are searched for the Solidworks or explore with the feature manager filter. You can assign tags by clicking tag icon in the lower right hand corner of the Solidworks toolbar, figure 211.1. Using Solidworks Search, the Solidworks Search on the upper right-hand corner Solidworks application window with the title bar shown in Figure 222, different from the Feature Manager filter, which enables you to search for part and assembly drawing with a feature of the name and other type of data. So we have a Solidworks Search option on the menu. Solidworks Search enable to use serve the Solidworks help with the knowledge base of the command of the community form with the information some of the required with the internet connection log in the look of the Solidworks model local and network drive searching for files search will include the 3D content central with the Solidworks and explore the Solidworks PDM if it is installed, and if you give the Solidworks is going to search for the file, you can use the option tools option file location search pass. Remember Solidworks file with the search of the roles forces it to look in the directory that may not be able to you include the recent folder where you have saved the documents over the directories. You can also select custom property for the search for the drop down list. Making interface work for you. As engineers design, we all like to tinker with things to optimize efficiency to apply with our own personal stamp. The Solidworks software is installed with the interface function, but not optional. With the earlier with the chapter, I discovered the manage and customizing toolbar menu, and the remainder of the chapter all focused on customizing the interface that suggests some of the strategies you might have to help to customize your work environment. Customizing colors before you change the standard color of the Solidworks interface, you need to be aware of a few things. That first thing, the Solid does not automatically alter the text color of the contrast with your background. As a result, if you set the background to black and the text is black, you will not be able to see the text. This may be previous to some people. Obvious to some people, but AutoCAD automatically changes the text color of the contrast with the view of the port background, so the AutoCAD user may take the functionality for granted. Also be aware of the colors of SolidWorks interface have been chosen carefully, offered with a good contrast between the elements of the data, superimposed on the other, and most of the cases color blindness have been factored into the selection, so you probably won't see blue and green right next to each other where it matters in the interface. Exploring default selection colors. All interface colors are controlled with the system option color dialog box. You can access the dialog box for the tools option colors shown in Figure 214. No system option include the search bar for the 100 settings, even if they were finding them when looking at some difficulty. Notice you can select the color scheme if you want to change the colors of the interface with the recommended saving the color setting as the color scheme on the schemes you will recreate it easily. Later copied to another computer. Color schemes are stored with the window registry, not as a separate file, but to transfer the color settings to another computer. You need to either use the copy setting wizards or manually copy data with the Windows registry. Figure 224 shows the color controlling interface colors, and that's in system options and colors. Before you make any changes, you may consider saving the initial setting with a separate scheme, then you can also get back to the necessary cost of making change with the Windows register adversely affect the software installation, hardware performance. You should not attempt to register and change with the registry unless you know exactly what you're doing. Setting background option wisely. You should avoid with the sum of the color background. You make the sum of the change with the next to make these uncolored choose with each cut with the black and choose with the fully defined with the sketch with the dimension of the feature manager text with the notation. Blue can be masked undefined with the sketch with the sum of the dimension. Bright green can be problems as with the seeing the selected item. Bright red aside with being terrible colors you stare at all day. Also does not contrast well with some of the red highlights and the arrow colors, even gray mask for reference dimension. You might think no matter what the color background you select with the side with the default, that something will become difficult for the reason many of the gradient with the image of the background enables you to pick colors where the items are always visible on the one half of the screen, starting with the white screen all day with the uncomfortable for the eyes. Some pick up the color but enable you to everything that you need. Some will contrast. You're not glaring brightly. Very high contrast is hard on the eyes. Low contrast may come and make it difficult to distinguish items on the screen. You have to consider the purpose of the background. Some of the people that are doing the presentation want the background attractive, while the others are staying out of the way. Others may need background only to contrast whatever is in front of the way, but it does not strain with the eyes or the writing of the book over the background generally needs to be white on the match of the page. No one scheme will be used suit all needs. In addition to the color and gradients, you may use the image of the graphic window of the background that gives you the wide range customization capability, same with the image of the already available the default setting. Also be aware of the document scene backgrounds or documents specifically overridden by the system options. Real view is also capabilities of the scene. Scenes can be applied from the appearance of the scene with the decal tab of the task pane with the must display with the setting work. Conjunction real view, which is the advanced display mode. Depending on your graphics card, your computer may or may not be able to become capable of using real view. Solidworks offers 3 different types of scenes: basic, studio, and presentation. One of these, I find studio scene to be the best. I need reflective floor with the shadows. Otherwise, I stick with the basic scenes. I find distracting other reflection shadow of the models while working. However, then adding a nice shiny real view appearance in the art is usefully, especially when visualizing curvature and with the curvy parts. I describe real view along with scenes in more detail in Chapter 5. Customizing strategy. You can easily customize many aspects of the SolidWorks interface, including the following: toolbars, menu, background colors, image, task plan, location, hotkeys, macros, custom application programs. Well, you should customize each of the items depending on the partially or how much time, the energy, how to spend, and how much work while with others, and whether you share the workstation with the other users, and how much money you are ready to dedicate in the case of the custom programming. Considering hotkey approach with any command much more than a few times an hour worth of assigning a hotkey, I like an alteration with assigning of the keys to help with my fault memory. The most frequently used command is assign single letter hotkeys. Less frequently used projections are assigned combination tools option like O, M for measure, selective vertex shift V, curve project, projected control J, curve control P with Windows start with a permanent command. Some of these settings I like to use to conflict the default settings. I saw a nice mechanism to deal with the entire conflict, warning you of the conflict. You can choose to proceed with the change if not. Otherwise, people the group keys, each easy to reach, and this is why Q, W, A, S, and Z and X keys are often assigned first right-hand mouse users. Organizing hotkey. The hotkeys are assigned organized with the keyboard dialog box tools. Customize figure of the tone figure 225 of the interface that enables you with the hotkey with the call with the shortcut lifts easily with the try into the existing hotkey. Solidworks issue the prompt telling you that the key is assigned to another command and its name. The prompt asks whether you want to clear the other instance of the hotkey or make the new one active. You can print with a copy of the clipboard list of the commands of the using the hotkeys. Because the list of the commands is so long, search functions are able to drop down arrow that makes visual on the command selected window with the list of the command organized menu or list down on a curve of the interface. Fortunately, you can use the keyboard tab on sort with the list menu of the command hotkeys alphabetical order just in clicking the corresponding column header with the finally usable interface. One or more favorite interchange changes of the last several surface releases. So figure 225 should the keyboard dialog box is in tool custom keyboard. And then it shows you can change your shortcut keys and commands. Hotkeys for menu items are listed on the right side with the regular drop-down menu, but they are served more with a learning aid with the interface elements. Have included a spreadsheet of the default hotkeys. Solidworks 2018 download material chapter 2 with the save with the list of save with a copy list button. Dialog shown with figure 225. If you do a lot of customizations, it might be handy to print out or tape them to a side of the monitor. Pointless. It's a little pointless to refer to a chart to remember shortcuts, but you may think of it as a training aid or means to allow other people to use the workstation effectively. Or using mouse gestures. Customize the mouse gestures interface shown like your 226 may be the interface appearance with the right mouse button slightly about a quarter inch. You may get used to interface a drag 3/4 inch single motion activates the command. Using mouse gestures interface and it shows the different faces I've found the interface works when you memorize the commands available to various positions with the donut. You can see that it uses 2, 4, and 8 and 12 divisions, accuracy with a difficult large number of divisions. You can establish the donut in 4 to 8 segments and comes set to 4 default. You can also customization dialog box. Tools customize using the mouse and gesture tab. The advantage of the interface very easy to work invoke. I like the way you can use the default set with control views and mouse moving in a particular direction easily associated with the view direction. Should be easy to remember. Mouse gestures probably not replace hotkeys or shortcut keys on the S toolbar, but they do effectively quick access view functions. Using the keyboard, moving between the mouse and keyboard can be bothersome and time-consuming. In addition, with a hotkey approach, you can use another keyboard method to save time. Many users become an adapter with the using alt key combination and invoking the menu items. Most of the menu item window application contains single underlined letter. To access the top level of the menu, you can hold down the alt key, press the underlined letter for the menu, then press the underlined letter for the menu access for the specific command. The decidedly Old school technique enables you to navigate most of the interface without using the mouse. For example, the Solidworks instead use the mouse to click the red X in the upper right hand corner should be what you could press Alt F and then X and figure 227. Then you can see with the F and then the file is underlined with the X and edit. Set figure 227 with the Alt key of the window menu. You may potentially run into the conflict with the Alt key of the menu of the function, the combination of the Alt plus another key with the whiz valve with a hotkey combination. If the need of the hotkey Alt hotkey combination is likely to have seen with a conflict like this, in case of the conflict, the hotkey combination seems to gain priority over the Alt key accelerator. Minimizing icons. In order to maximize valuable space with the monitor of the Solidworks, users strive to minimize the number of the toolbar icons screen with a confined with the two rows of the toolbar. You can do this by using the command manager of the flyout toolbars, S toolbar, right click, left click toolbar, hotkeys, or by removing unused icons as well with the other technique we discuss here. Have any uncluttered workspace, but definitely plus having access to the commands of the real purpose of the interface for the first place. But you need to have the strike with a balance between the two much, but not enough. The more kind of work you do with the Solidworks, the more tools you will need to have available. If you create only relatively simple machine part with the drawing, you will need fewer tools available than someone who creates a complex plastic part assembly with rendering and animation, contemplation of the device approach. If you've never used a 3D mouse equivalent view manipulation device, you should consider the wonderful device to do far more than just spin the view. Many of them devices have several program buttons that you can link to the menu items that you can move the drawing view, move the part with the assembly, even manipulated selected objects in another Office application web browser. You can from time to time phone the device on the auction site. Be careful, however, this sensitive to the other device's serial ports rather than USB connectors. Mice are standard input devices. Many are recommended with the CAD work, but you might also consider the trackball. But if you have the Kensington Slime Blade trackball for several years of the CAD and CAD normal office computing, it takes up less space on the desk, and it does take some time to get used to. It's wired, but it does not move around. Using touch and multiple touch support. I've written this portion of the book of the tablet. PC of the tablet might not have a good idea of long period with the Solidworks uses, but I usually regularly project presentation, even the model with the really ones that can feel the drawing a line by hand. The stylus is not quite an initiative as a pencil, but it is less than impediment than tactile feel of the actual drawing. The clunky mouse. The tablets are a great option to use the combination touch functions of the Solidworks, such as the mouse gesture. The mouse gesture functionally considered a tool well suited to a tablet interface where the flying stylus is easier with the mouse clicking. A single touch technique because the stylus text typically adds up to a single point with the contact within the screen. Solidworks 2008 has added new touch mode, enable the view with the touch mode. With the touch mode, change the tab of the interface elements to make them easier to select. Also adds the touch mode toolbar shown figure 228. The tools of the toolbar escape. And shortcut S menu, multiple select, like press and control delete, lock, 3D, rotate, and to prevent view rotations while stretching. Show the touch mode toolbar. Multiple touch devices are becoming the more widely available in CAD-worthy configuration, including Microsoft Surface Studio full-size touch display that can be set up horizontally like on an old drafting board and vertically large monitor. Preparation of the future functionality, seemingly ideally situated with visual application of the CAD. 3D Solidworks has added functionality to take advantage of these tools. Multi-tech touch action maps, as the Solidworks helps refer to the initiative of the two-finger motion that enables you to control the view of the function for actions such as zoom in and rotate, pan, roll, zoom to fit, right-click. Accessing the pen interface of the pen tools from the sketch intel and toolbar that enables you to create the freeform strokes from feature within a sketch pen is used with the conjunction pen sketch for the tools, pen sketch and touch tools on the sketch toolbar. The topic will cover the more depth in chapter 6, getting more from your sketches. Alright, accessing macros. Macros is a short snippet of the program called the particular function of the macros are small and intended with a simple task with a repeat of any time with the change selected with the dimension 4-dimensional places with the zone screening so that the size 1-to-1 actual size macros may be recorded with the written, but it's graphic the combination when you record a particular action from a starting point with an embellish it and manually refer from there. Recorded macros may not also be recorded part of the action. If you want to make it a macro, you can edit it manually, include anything on the program, the Solidworks application documentation and program interface, which is included in Solidworks package, no extra cost. To access macros, leave the hotkey. These sets are make a folder in the Solidworks installation directory called macros. Copy the macros into the folder. Start and restart the Solidworks. Choose tools. Customize the keyboard. Scroll to the button. List under the macros category. Assign hotkeys as would be the same Solidworks commands. Whether select this writing in the recording macros, you are even the macros collected with the other people. The huge time save the functionality you would not know otherwise be able to access. You would want to consider joining a SolidWorks continuing Unity to share macros. Other work with other users. SolidWorks communities can be accessed through TaxPlane and SolidWorks software via the SolidWorks website. Saving custom interface settings. After you have set up the menu and toolbars, worked all the custom colors, figured out all your hotkeys, connected your macros, you want to lose the settings when you reinstall them. You won't want to lose the settings when you reinstall the software or move to a different computer. And another user may want to share your settings, or they may want to transfer them to your home computer for modeling a new deck of the dog house or a course. Fortunately, these settings are very portable. Use copy setting wizards to save the setting to a file. Access the wizard by choosing Start SolidWorks Tools. Copy setting wizards. This creates a file with a solid reg file extension. You can restore the setting with double clicking the file of the computer that has a SolidWorks installed on it. You may need to have an administrator access your computer to apply SolidWorks registry file. The changing registry file indicates kind of dangerous. I don't really encourage novices to do it unless they have access to someone understanding Windows registry. SolidWorks setting an actual window registry, setting the file that is saved by the wizard of the registry file with a different extension, preventing being able to be easily save the Windows registry file with the registry file extension. Integrate them into the registry. Simple double clicking them. If you're not familiar with Windows registry, you should not make direct changes, because even small changes can be serious problems with other operating systems, installed software, or even hardware. Settings that are saved by copy setting wizard are saved and transferred between computers. For a copy setting wizard to work, you need to have an administrator level access to the computer. Copy setting wizard, shown in figure 229. Copy setting wizard. And working with multiple document windows. When we may sometimes have the luxury of working on single parts at a time, but most often you will find yourself several documents open at once. The continuing common situation for most users. Fortunately, SolidWorks several methods of dealing information overload help you sort through it all. Getting the most out of your open command. Open dialog box presents some of the options that you will learn more in later chapters. Figure 230 show the interface, open command interface, and then you can use the open dialog box to use the open window explorer window. That means the copy, pasting, rename, delete, moving the file, with deciding which one to open. You can also preview the menu, control the size of the icon. SolidWorks specify controls. You may also work with a quick filter to narrow out the display with the type that just you're seeking. The icon on the far right, quick filter list shows only the top level of assembly. There's not assembly and another assembly. If you have other types of files that you open, you can use the custom button with the traditional SolidWorks file type list. Also note that the mode button at the bottom, also the part with the resolve, normal, edit button, mode, quick view only, and configuration display buttons are topics covered in a later chapter. They allow you to more quickly access the information you're looking for, rather having to open a file with the switch with a different configuration. Managing opening file professionally with a combination of control and tab brings the open documents window shown in figure 231. To keep the window open and continue, hold down the control key. Press tab again to cycle through the open documents. You move the click X. You may click in X to any of the thumbnails close document. You can click the link to show the document in its own folder to close. Preview with a changing the document. You press escape, and however the control escape opens the Windows Start menu. Managing recent documents. List of the recent used documents available. The file menu pressing the R hotkey. The actual just the tab. The window dialog available. Pressing the Control F2. Recent files not. It can also be accessed the file. Open recent, which give the text-based list, and it shows the figure true to the reach of the Control Display tab. Open documentation. The documents of the window can be opened, print, placed so that any of the remaining recent documents figured in 232 show in the dialog box. Figure 232 show the pressing R access, the hotkey R, pressing R access recently document tags window dialog. Alright, folders option top gives you the view of the path of all of the recent documents. Browse the button takes the window explorer view of the folder. However, the icon with the document list small, the double arrows appear in the lower right hand corner of the icon. Clicking on the double arrow to display certain information allows you to open the document. Particular configuration, the particularly display states opens as read-only. Access of the reference is shown in 233. A lot of capability is packed into this welcome box. 233 is more functional behind the recent files icon. Managing windows. Like most of the Windows applications, Solidworks can arrange open document windows in one of the several ways available to the window and doc menu. New window, open a new window and active the document dynamic highlights in selection. One window will appear both. Cascade of the most useful access to the documents for the edits by 1-1. Tile horizontal, the most useful comparing wide and short parts side by side. Tile vertical, most useful narrow parts and documents where you want to compare items with a feature manager. Area range icon windows, minimize the icon menu selection, arrange the icon neatly. Starting in the lower left-hand corner of the window, close all open windows option prompts you to have save modify the document. Alright, spanning multiple monitors. Solidworks has the help to manage a display across the multiple monitors. Figure 234 shows the document application window with the control button in the upper right-hand corner of the Solidworks window. In addition to the usual minimize, maximize, close application window control, add span display tool that makes the Solidworks window use both display and dual display arrangement. Multiple monitor controls. Document window control to the add the title left, the title right, with a 4 for the document window with the left of the right monitor, respectively, while accessing the title left and right icons triangle monitor. The document will be sent to the left of the right of the half of the screen. Multiple monitors work by for the same vertical resolution. For example, 1920 over 1200 widescreen, and a 1200 or 1600 over 1200 single aspect ratio would be well side by side, but maximizing a 124 and 668 screen would not. When the monitors are different vertical resolution, using SolidWorks size lowest resolution monitor, the second monitor listed is vertical resolution. Bottom line. Learning different parts. SolidWorks interface with the elements because of the SolidWorks have much functionality. You can access the elements multiple ways. It can be liberating because of it offers options, but it can also be added with the confusion. But there's no much to know. You need to know you do not need to know every way to do everything. You only need to know the best way for you. Master it. Identify each of the area around the SolidWorks in the window. Customize are key. Customization operators. SolidWorks is vast. Everyone has a different taste preference of the coming of the running of the interface prefer keyboard, some of the mouse, and some of the preferred touch interface. These are different strategies depending on the specific situation. For example, saving space, saving the mouse travel, or saving the mouse or keyboard click. SolidWorks has the touch interface option. Those are accessible tools intended to accommodate special needs such as different input devices or color blindness. Master it creates some of the simple keyboard shortcuts of the function you think of that you will use the most. Manipulating multiple windows is important in all computers, but especially with the cab when you're working with enormous amounts of data. Numbers of the document that surpass the type of the programs. Master it. Open the table of the documents with the widely download data. Practice manipulating the windows. Chapter 3, Working with Sketches and Reference Geometry.